Hi classmates, I'm here to talk about cognitive learning theory. No, cognitive load theory, sorry. So basically, cognitive load theory is a psychological theory on how tasks and technologies put demands on our brain, on the parts of our brain like our senses, short-term or working memory, and long-term memory that we have. Our working memory or short-term memory is where all of our conscious cognitive processing occurs. This can be handled only with a limited number of things or activities at one time, no more than 2 or 3, it said in the text. Long-term memory gives us the ability to expand this processing ability. Long-term memory can store a number of cognitive elements of information into a single element with the specific function or task. When we deconstruct the cognitive load theory, it leads to the 3 parts: the intrinsic cognitive part, element, extraneous element, and the germane. In the text, I read that. I read some other articles because I wasn't familiar with a lot of the terminology that was in there. So I feel like I just kind of kept diving, reading. So I came up with an example of where I think this pulls this information together. So just want to explain that, and hopefully you'll let me know if you think I got it or not. And if not, that's okay. I'm just trying to figure this out. So in order for learning to occur, we know that the intrinsic, the extraneous, and the germane cognitive loads, they shouldn't be exceeding the working memory capacity and the resources that we have in our working memory. So a way that I feel that I saw that not work well in a learning design was in a project where our 5th grade students were working in the media center. That's where I teach. The teachers bring their students, and they pretty much run the show. I'm there to help with the tech support and just some tips and kind of just an extra helper. But sometimes they ask for help in advance, and that's great, and it usually works better for them. When they don't, not so great. So here we go. 5th grade students came into the classroom with packets of information. What I feel like was there were some extraneous parts, but the germane or the poor design of this that did not help in having effective cognitive level or load was that the students came to sit at a computer by themselves. They had an outline which was stapled together several pages, front, back. Some continued on to the next page, which was distracting for students because they didn't understand that when they saw something written on the bottom and it continued to the top of the next page, that was the same information, not another topic to look for about their president. The outline that they were given had basic topics such as facts about the president's life, and then lines for them to fill in the information from the internet sites that they went to. They weren't guided to, they weren't linked, they weren't a website for them to choose. They went and found the ones. That's where I stepped in and said, okay, here's the ones I think they're helpful, and gave them some direction that way. Some of the handouts that they had a different outline of how to work with this information and find the research in the structure, but it had specific elements like find out about their family, their wife, their children's names, their background of their parents. So it gave them some direct ways, whereas the other stapled packet just had the basic family life. Why they couldn't be put together into one more simplified paperwork, I feel is a bad design, and was taxing on this germane part of the effective cognitive level. It was just too much information, and they didn't understand what they were looking for. Other pictures, they had background pictures that were distracting from what the text was that they were trying to find on their handouts. The extraneous information, the extraneous things that were going on in the classroom, teachers on cell phones, not me. The clutter of the papers around them, that not knowing what to do, pencils, not sure what to write, what to type, where to copy and paste. There was confusion. Also the distraction of students sitting right here and then the next student at the next computer, whether they were working or not or talking, there was distractions there. The intrinsic skill was to just gather facts about their president in certain categories. I feel like it could have been simplified to tell them to find one fact in this category at a time at a grade level appropriate website for each student. Give them a list and a range and help direct students to the right website that would be a cognitive level appropriate cognitive level for that student. You're talking differentiation too, but you're also knowing about their working memory and their cognitive ability. So this is what I found out. This is the example of how I tied in the information that I read about and again dug into. As we know in the text, it says that the goal of cognitive load theory is to increase germane, the effective cognitive load, and to decrease the extraneous cognitive load. So this is my example. I'd love to read what you have to say. So be well. Thank you.